How did you land up here?
One night she was cooking butter chicken. Food is why I'm here in India, man. My parents were like, what are you doing? My friends and family were like, what are you doing? You're going to India? It's good for a holiday, but what are you doing? Like, you get to see all of India through my channel.
That one popular video that we all saw, which went viral.
Bad taste. Uncommon risks lead to uncommon rewards. All I remember is stepping out into the New Delhi airport and just seeing, when you're marrying into an Indian family, your Indian parents are going to treat me like their son.
Somebody will come and ask you, "Janta hai mera baap kaun hai?" What do you think? Does that Delhi actually exist, or it's just in the movies?
No one's ever said to me, do you know who my dad is? I'd catch these scammers on the streets and show exactly their scam and how it works, so foreigners could avoid it when they come to India. And so then I just kept going around and capturing all the scams that would happen to me.
The alternate side is that, oh, you know what? You're reinforcing a poor image of India abroad for the foreign tourists.
It's a bit, it's not right. I'm not into like superstitions and all this type of stuff. I don't believe in much of this stuff. But I had quite a strange experience at Lonar Lake. I can call it creepy, but it's otherworldly, that's for sure. There's all sorts of little strange things going down on there.
People give a lot of shit to people like, say, Virat Kohli. And now you want to go settle in England.
Yeah, but it's hard being famous here. People immigrate for different reasons. Foreigners will come up to me and they'll say, Karl, thank you for teaching me Nahi Chahiye Became. You don't know how much that line helped. Go to Agra, go to Delhi, go to Jaipur, but then go somewhere else. I've never found that authentic Indian food outside of India. I keep telling people, you've got to come to India. You've got to come here and just try the food.
नमस्कार देवियों सज्जनों, पिछले कुछ हफ्तों में आप लोगों ने मेरे चैनल पर हिंदुस्तान के बारे में कई कहानियों को देखा. कुछ अच्छी कहानियां, कुछ बुरी कहानियां, कुछ सिखाने वाली कहानियां, कुछ डराने वाली कहानियां. लेकिन हिंदुस्तान में समाई हुई हजारों कहानियों में से एक कहानी ऐसी भी है जो हिंदुस्तान से शुरू ही नहीं हुई, और वो है काल की कहानी. कई कहानियां मैं सुनाता हूं, कई कहानियां आप मुझसे सुनते हैं, लेकिन असली कहानियां वो होती हैं जो उसी के मुंह से सुनी जाएं जिन्होंने उन कहानी को जिया है. एंड विच इज व्हाई आई थॉट when I'm starting my podcast, I should do it with Karl, a YouTube content creator who's been creating content for the past 7 years, who's understood India perhaps more than you and I do. And this is Karl.
Namaste दोस्तों, मेरा नाम कार्ल रॉक है. मेरा ससुराल हांसी हरियाणा है, और I love India, and I guess that's why we're here. That's what we're here to talk about.
Yes, that's why we're here. Of course, हम लोगों ने सबने we've seen all of your videos. Most of us have seen your videos, all kinds of videos at that, and we've seen and appreciated how you've sort of understood the culture. You've sort of taken that conversation forward, and you've almost been the West's eyes towards India. Before it was cool, but I've always wondered, how did you land up here? How did you come to India? And where does the story begin?
Well, it begins when I was 17 or 18 and with an ex-girlfriend at her house. And one night she was cooking butter chicken. And it wasn't any butter chicken. It was butter chicken from a can.
Oh.
So overseas, you can buy butter chicken in a can. You unwind it, you tip it into a pan, and you cook it up. Horrible stuff, horrible stuff. But anyway, I was like 17 and I'd never tasted Indian food before. And I didn't want to try it either. I'm like, I'm happy with what I got. Why do you want me to try this? Anyway, she goes, Karl, just try it. You only got to try it once. You know, like a kid, she goes, you only got to try it once. Just see if you like it. I'm like, okay, chalo. She'll stop complaining if I try it. And she gave me this spoon of butter chicken. I put it in my mouth. And yeah, that was the beginning of my love story with India, man. Like, the flavors just exploded in my mouth, and I just couldn't believe what I was tasting. I couldn't believe those complex flavors. And yeah, food is why I'm here in India, man. That's like the core reason. That's what brought me to India, that moment trying Indian food. And like from that age, from about 17, after trying that food, I just started exploring everything to do with India. It sparked that passion in me through the food. So I went to Indian restaurants, started trying other dishes, started eating my way through the menu. And then it moved into like making Indian friends. Then they started showing me Bollywood films. I started enjoying those. And then they just share stories with me about India. Then it moved into learning Hindi. And eventually took me a while. It took me like 10 or 12 years after that moment to actually come to India, to step foot in India.
And when was this happening, and where were you when this all of this was happening?
I was a teenager. This was back in Auckland, New Zealand, and must have been like the early 2000s. And I didn't get to India till like 2013.
And it's interesting, people say that, all good conversations begin with alcohol. Yours begins with butter chicken, which is why I relate to it more. And that too off a can. But which is the first dish then, I think, back in Auckland, something that you remember beyond the butter chicken?
Oh, beyond butter chicken, yeah, there's one that sticks out. So I've got there's a lot of Parsis in New Zealand.
Oh, interesting.
It's a big Parsi community. And I happened to step foot into that community somehow. And I made a friend with Parizad. And she would take me to her favorite Indian restaurants that she finds around Auckland. And she always knew the best and the most authentic flavors. So we'd be eating the best stuff. And this one dish that I got hooked on, it wasn't pani puri, it was dahi puri. And every week I would go back to that same spot to have dahi puri. And that was a real gateway drug. Just chaat in general, but specifically dahi puri. I couldn't get enough of that. It's mind-blowing for a foreigner, nah? It's like yogurt, tamarind chutney, the green chili chutney, and then like chaat masala. Like we've never tried this combination.
No, it's fascinating for Indians also. It's very fascinating for us.
I don't know how they came up with this stuff.
Yeah.
And it just explodes your mouth.
Yeah. It's like a burst of flavors.
Yeah.
It like bursts like a cracker.
Yeah.
But interesting. I mean, so then you said that it took you 10 years of understanding and seeing India from afar. You mentioned Bollywood. We'll come to that later. But what was that big move where you sort of decided to come all the way from New Zealand to come to India? Like as an Indian, I love traveling and I love New Zealand from what I see on the internet. But I don't dare to go to New Zealand because it's so damn far away. So for you, what was that big moment for you to decide that no, I'm stepping into India now?
I've always followed my passions in life. And that first passion was music. And so I ended up working in the music industry in New Zealand for a record label. Second passion was always computers. And so I ended up studying computer science while I was working in the music industry because I knew one day I'll have to transit because the music industry was always just going down and down and down. And so the third passion was India. The passion for India came along in my teen years. And so I knew eventually one day, it's something that I could pursue and it's something that I could follow. And the music industry was having a rough time. So I exited the music industry, went into the IT industry and got a job for a startup. And that didn't last.
Like most startups do.
Yeah. So at that point in my life, I'm like, okay, man, I got to do something for myself. I spent the last probably 12 years working for other people and making other people money. I'm like, it's time for me to go out on my own and just try do something on my own because I was craving freedom, actually. That's what I wanted in my life. Freedom to do whatever I wanted with my time. And I didn't know what would happen. I just said, Chalo, I've got some savings and I'm going to go to India for 6 months and travel as far as I can and just see what happens. Hopefully something happens, but I didn't have any plans. I just said, Chalo, I'm going to take this risk. I'm not going to get another job in New Zealand. I'm going to the place where I want to be. And that place was India. Before that point, I'd already visited 2 or 3 times. And so I already had that feeling, I want to be in India. I want to be in India for long term. And so I just made it happen like that. And my parents were like, what are you doing? My friends and family were like, what are you doing? You're going to India? It's good for a holiday, but what are you doing? But I just said, no, man, I'm going to go for 6 months and just travel as far as I can and see what happens. And just so happens, I decided to buy a GoPro the day before I left to India for 6 months. And I didn't have any plans with it because I wasn't even using YouTube at that time. I was only using YouTube to watch music videos. I didn't know what a vlogger was. I didn't know it was a job. I didn't know anything about YouTube, really. But I had this GoPro in my pocket, and I said, maybe I can make a video or two. Maybe I'll just document my journey. That's it. Then I'll come back and I'll get another job in New Zealand working in IT. And I think everybody knows what happened after that. The videos kind of started going viral, these little simple videos.
This conversation, this dichotomy of following your passion versus making sure that your kitchen is running. For Indian youth, this is a very, very basic conversation. Most of us are into jobs and professions that are not our passions. And honestly, in your case, it takes, and there's no better way of saying it, it takes balls of steel to be actually take that jump and move far across 7 oceans to come here. I just wanted to understand from an Indian perspective, and because I interact with a lot of people, they are somehow very, very, very scared to take this jump, and I can understand why. There are financial obligations, they're scared of what their futures could be, etc., etc. What is that one little piece of advice that you can give those people who are contemplating whether they should be taking that jump or not?
There's no reward without risk. And I guess any business owner will tell you that here in India. Then there was another saying that really clicked with me. Uncommon risks lead to uncommon rewards. I was doing something strange that people couldn't understand coming to spend my time in India. That was a very uncommon risk, very hard thing to do. I totally understand getting a job and staying with your job and being afraid to leave, because that was my position in life. My parents had never told me, Karl, maybe you could have your own business. Maybe you could do something on your own. We've got that mentality in New Zealand: study, get a job. And I've been successful at that. And that had worked for me, but like I think most people are working, it's not what we want to be spending our time on. And that was my feeling, and I had that feeling for so many years. Ever since I started working, I had that feeling. Like, my jobs were cool. They were good jobs. And I was working with great people, really nice people. But, you could call them dream jobs I had, actually. But I still didn't want to be there, even though I had my dream job now. I still wanted to be free, and I still wanted to be doing whatever I wanted to do, and that was following my passion. So you just got to take the risk, and you've just got to not listen to everybody telling you it's not going to work.
Yeah, and it's strange that passions don't always make sense. In fact, they never make sense. Like, and I see this around, and including myself, I've had that dichotomy forever, whether I should be a full-time content creator, whether I should be, I should balance, I should make sure that I have my basic money sorted. But I think you're right that that sometimes just the leap of faith that you need to take. Coming to your first day in India, I mean, of course, you'd seen India from afar, and I'm assuming this was back in the day where not a lot of videos were available on the internet from India. The kind of walking tours and the kind of walking videos you see these days. So when you came to India for the first time, what was your first reaction of India? Did it hit you like a boom? Did it embrace you? What was the first day in India like?
All I remember is stepping out into the New Delhi airport and just seeing that chaos of people. These days, it's a lot more organized.
Organized, yes.
But this was 13 years ago. It was different. I was lucky though. I had a friend from Bangalore. He came and picked me up. So he really eased me into India.
So you're a friend from Bangalore who came to pick you up at Delhi.
Really good friend. He was a friend from back in New Zealand.
Oh.
From the music industry, and he transitioned from working in New Zealand and Fiji to coming and living here.
I live in Noida. I won't go and pick up a friend from Delhi airport. So you really have a very good friend there.
Incredible friend, and
yes.
we're still, best friends to this day.
Yeah.
And so he kind of eased me into India. But the other thing I tell foreigners is, if it's your first trip, take a guided tour. Take a 7-day guided tour. Go and do the Golden Triangle, Delhi, Jaipur, Agra, and that's the best way to just ease yourself, and then go and travel by yourself after that. But yeah, there were. I was lucky I had that. But then once they left me, then we.
Yeah. then the real India hit you.
Yeah.
But what were the initial cultural shocks that you felt in India as compared to how things were in New Zealand?
I was pretty lucky. I kind of knew what to expect. And I'd taken a few trips to India before I decided to come here for 6 months. Cultural shocks, having, us foreigners are very naive. I had to learn, Karl, don't be naive. Don't trust everybody on the street. it's just different overseas. There's less kind of sharks on the street trying to take advantage of people.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn that very quickly. Don't trust everybody on the street, because there was so many scammers around targeting tourists and just trying to earn bucks out of us. That was probably the biggest cultural shock. Just I needed to be less naive. I needed to learn to say no. That's what we needed to learn to do, to say no. That's the most important word I found. And you know, that kind of turned into a tagline in my videos, Nahi Chahiye Became. I learned those words, Nahi Chahiye Became, and that really helped my life in India. It's a polite way of saying no thank you to people on the street.
But do you think people took your no positively? Because it's a big debate in India that, you know, and largely that's around gender politics, etc., that no is never considered a no. I mean, we've been brought up with Bollywood, etc., that no just basically means that a no that could convert into a yes later, which is why the persuasive strategies, etc. But was your no always taken as a no कि हाँ ठीक है ये नहीं बोल रहा है तो इसको नहीं बेचते हैं?
They'll try and push a little bit, but you just keep saying no, and you know.
Yeah, they'll get tired eventually.
Yeah, they get sick of it eventually.
Talking about India, what is that one aspect of your life here that you love the most, that you think could be nowhere else in the world?
It's got to be that sense of community and communal living that you get here in India. Everybody's connected. Everybody's just so friendly and just so willing to stop and chat with you on the street. Like, you can just go and talk to anyone on the street. I see like Indians playing cards at nighttime together when I'm walking home, or you can go to the tea stall and just sit down and have a tea and chat with the next person next to you. It was so different from New Zealand. So I really enjoy that communal way of living. India is like one big community, I feel.
Yeah, that's true.
And I noticed this especially, like there was one more shock that I had when I got married here. I didn't realize, like, when you're marrying into an Indian family, your Indian parents, or, you know, my parents-in-law, were going to treat me like their son. Like, that really kind of blew me away. That sense of family that you have here in India, family and community. It's really, really something special and really something incredible, because overseas we've become, you know, quite individualistic, and we don't spend a lot of time socializing anymore. It's quite different. And marriage is different as well overseas.
Correct.
But here, people are just so friendly and so welcoming.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really experienced that when I got married as well, because now I have two sets of parents.
Yeah.
I just didn't expect that, you know. It was just mind-blowing and just so heartwarming.
Yeah, I think in the rest of the world, you marry a person. Here in India, you marry a family, you marry a flock.
Exactly.
So, and I think it's the same everywhere else. And it's not just about one family or the other family. It's just the Indian way of life.
Yeah.
Despite so many different cultures existing in this country, I think the fact that you mentioned about communal living, I think this is something that is very common in every culture in India, whether you may be from different religions, different background, etc. But that sense of community, communal praying, communal eating, it's very, very strong. Yeah. But there must be something that would have also surprised you about India, in the sense that the expectation versus reality kind of a setup.
Oh man, like I didn't realize how vast India was. You know, I used to think India, or like a lot of foreigners might think, India might just be similar to old Delhi.
Yeah.
And then you get here and you're like, oh my God, how wrong was I about everything to do with India? India is just so vast. So the other thing I love here is travel. You know, like, you can never finish traveling India. You can go up to the Himalayas. You can go even higher up to like Leh and Ladakh. You can go to the forests of Kerala. You can go across to the beaches of Lakshadweep or Andaman and Nicobar Islands. You can go to the deserts of Rajasthan. You can spend time in Delhi and Old Delhi and soak up all that history. Or you can go across to like Chhattisgarh, like the greenest state of India. It's just like, or you can go to like, I can keep speaking about every state. You can go to like Odisha and experience ancient India. India is just so vast, and just traveling here is like, it's such a fulfilling experience in life.
Yeah.
Every state I go to, I get to experience a new language, a new cuisine, and more incredible Indian history. So that's another thing I love here, man. I'm always traveling. Even though I've been to every state, I'm still traveling to visit more places.
You've literally been to every state?
Yeah, every state. Yeah. I don't get sick of India, man. And that's why I kind of expanded that goal out. Like the goal was visit every state in India. Then I expanded it out. Like, let's do India before partition. So I'm going to try and cover all of Pakistan. I'm going to try cover Bangladesh, and just try and see all of India. Personally, like, I choose Delhi to live, so I think I have to choose that as my favorite state now. Like, I love everything about Delhi.
I can't believe it. I don't buy it. Delhi can't be your most. I mean, of course, Delhi is beautiful. I love Delhi. I live here, and I don't think now I can live anywhere else. But there has to be something more beautiful than Delhi.
If you're talking of beauty, yeah, obviously, like Lakshadweep has the best beaches in the country. If you're talking of the mountains, like Himachal Pradesh, those mountains will blow your mind. But in terms of living, I mean, I choose Delhi. It's got everything that I want. The food, the history, you can explore it forever and never finish it. And my family's here, of course, as well. That's the other thing. And I enjoy the culture, man. I enjoy the language. I'm learning Hindi. Like, everything just clicks for me in Delhi.
But then Delhi also has a bad rapo. And you'll probably, I mean, the meme that goes around is that somebody will come and ask you, "Janta hai mera baap kaun hai?"
Yeah.
And then people are brash and they're abusive and this and that. So jo Delhi ki wo image internet par hai.
It's wrong, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to speak to you on that. What do you think? Does that Delhi actually exist, or it's just in the movies?
No one's ever said to me, "Do you know who my dad is?"
Okay.
Like,
That's
maybe if you go out drinking at night a lot and you spend a lot of time out late, you'll meet a lot of people who are like, just like to talk rubbish like that. But in like daily life, Delhi is just a nice place to live, man. It's just a nice, simple place. People are friendly. Food is good. There's so much history. There's so much architecture. There's always gigs on, which I love. There's always comedy shows on. Like, I got nothing really bad to say about Delhi.
No, I agree with you, because even I feel that people give a lot of shit about people from Delhi. Whereas if you look at not just that, I mean, people here are aware. The student culture here is fantastic. You go to the colleges, the theater culture there, the sort of gig culture here, and they're so aware. They're always activism and all is right in our bloods. So I think we somehow give a lot of shit to people in Delhi and just say that, oh, you know what, these are vain people who are just about showing off their cars and partying late out in the night. But it's actually quite the contrary over here.
It's just a stereotype about Delhi. There's like a Mumbai-Delhi rivalry, right?
Now we're talking.
That's where it comes from. But just come to Delhi and come and experience it, and you'll see the real Delhi.
Okay, so on the Mumbai-Delhi rivalry, which part do you stand? Where do you stand on that?
I mean, I live in Delhi, so I love Delhi. Delhi hai na.
That makes the two of us. Yeah, that's the line. You can just put Karl Rock 2025 over here. Delhi hai na. But now talking about the food in Delhi in India. I mean, of course, from that butter chicken out of a can to a butter chicken here, probably at one of the places here. How vast was the difference?
Yeah, you can say like to a butter chicken at Pal Dhaba in Chandigarh.
Yeah.
Far out. You can't even compare. Yeah. That butter chicken in New Zealand from a can was like watery and sweet and like no flavor. Then you go to like a dhaba in Chandigarh and it's smoky, it's super rich, it's creamy, and then you've got this delicious like naan covered in ghee that you're uncomparable.
Correct, I agree.
And I make a lot of videos around the world like tasting Indian food. I've never found that authentic Indian food outside of India. I keep telling people, you've got to come to India. You've got to come here and just try the food.
If you were to, again, convince somebody from abroad to come in India and try that one dish, or if I can reframe it, that is, what is that one dish that you can have for the rest of your life?
If I could recommend some dishes, if you like chickpeas, go for chole bhature. It's like a staple here in Delhi. You have to try it. It's very hard to kind of explain to people what it is.
Yeah, I think it's actually, even if you ask me to explain it, I would find it really hard to. It's not like a gravy, it's not like curry, it's something else.
The best chickpeas in the world and the best bread in the world, that's what chole bhature is.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think, that's always been a very tough question for me. When people ask me that, what is that one dish that you can eat forever? And I somehow end up with curd rice.
Yeah.
Because it's so, like, with the amount of complexities in Indian cuisine
Yeah.
and the amount of diversity that there is, I find like the humble, um, the the curd rice to be like the nice, humble, good-looking thing from down south.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also I feel dosas. Like I feel that if you ask me to represent one Indian dish to the world, I would say dosas. Moving on to how your content sort of evolved. Initially, you were showcasing India, your bike rides, etc., 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 and then you got into busting scams from India. And uh, I just wanted to understand how was that switch? Why did your content switch? Was it an intentional sort of direction to move there, or did it just happen out of the ordinary? Did it just happen just like that?
I don't think it ever switched because I've always made a variety of content on my channel. There's always been the travel videos. There's always been the food videos. Recently, I've gone into like the music scene in India, and there's always been the scam videos, which have always performed really well.
Yes.
They came out of just a desire to help foreigners enjoy their time in India by avoiding these guys on the street. And the best way to learn something is to see it. So I go out there with my GoPro hidden and I'd catch these scammers on the streets and show exactly their scam and how it works so foreigners could avoid it when they come to India. It was just about making foreigners feel more confident about coming here and traveling here. And yeah, it worked really well. And so then I just kept going around and capturing all the scams that would happen to me. It's a very natural thing. While I was traveling, I just also captured scams that were happening and put them up online. It was a conscious effort just to help foreigners. That's it. And ended up helping a lot of Indians and South Indians as well. I get a lot of comments just from even people from Delhi saying, thanks for those videos, Karl. It helped me avoid the scam. I saw the same guy. Or foreigners will come up to me and they'll say, Karl, thank you for teaching me Nahi Chahiye Became. You don't know how much that line helped me during my trip. And some foreigners will come up to me and say, I saw that exact same scammer from your video. He's still operating. But because of your video, I was able to avoid him. So that's like, makes me feel so good as a content creator to actually help people. And helping people has always been the mission of my channel. That's kind of how I started it. I said to myself, if I can help people, maybe some good karma will come back to me. And that's exactly what's happened.
But then the other flip side that I've seen a lot of people talk about is that they take a certain sense of offense with those videos. In the sense, the alternate side is that, oh, you know what, you're reinforcing a poor image of India abroad for the foreign tourists. That, you know what, you're trying to showcase that India is full of scammers, etc., etc. How do you respond to that?
That's a very narrow view. Those people have only clicked on my scam videos. They haven't gone further into my channel and seen that that's just a small niche on my channel, that actually I promote incredible India. And I've traveled to every state and I've shown the beauty of India, all of India, including Lakshadweep, everywhere I've been. So yeah, those people don't do enough research and watch the rest of the channel. They're just clicking on all the negative stuff and watching the negative stuff. But those videos, I don't find them negative. I find they're helping people. It's a positive thing. And the other fact is, I've made scam videos around the world. Pakistan, Dubai, Austria, Germany, Italy. Where else? Yeah, I've covered scams in many countries. It's not just India where I've covered scams. Wherever I go, I'm capturing scams as I go.
Look, I mean, my own thing to that is that, look, scams are everywhere. And particularly whenever you go to a touristic area, whether it's in Egypt or wherever. I mean, I keep seeing these videos all over. But I somehow feel, and of course, correct me if I'm wrong, that the scams in India are very minuscule. Like in the sense that if an auto driver is trying to scam you, it's probably trying to take $500 out of a ride that is for $200, which is technically like a €3 markup for a whatever. And then I feel that when I go abroad and I see that everything is bloody unaffordable. Like whenever I've gone to Europe, I think I've probably sat in a cab twice or thrice. And I felt that, you know what, if I'm going just like for 5 kilometers, I'm paying 2,000 Indian rupees. So when I when I sort of put that in context, and perhaps it's wrong of me to do that, when I put that in context, I feel like यार इंडिया में जो लोग करते हैं बेचारे they are very minuscule people. Like they are barely taking out 3 euros, 4 euros out of foreigners' pocket. Do you feel that that kind of a comparison is justified, or am I just being a little too polite with the scammers?
I feel like everyone should be treated equally.
Fair.
That's all I think. And my wife started to discover this as well, that foreigners are treated different in India because she's lost the pigmentation in her skin.
Yes.
It's called vitiligo. It's a skin condition. And so her skin has turned whiter than my skin. And so people on the street here are thinking she's a foreigner and treating her like a foreigner. So I just think everyone should be treated equally. That's it.
But do you feel that the scams in India are disproportionate to the kind of scams that happen in foreign countries? When I mean foreign countries, I mean countries other than India.
Scams happen everywhere. In every big tourist destination, you'll find scams. You'll find them here in Delhi, you'll find them in Jaipur, you'll find them in Rome, you'll find them, where else have I found them? In Dubai.
Yeah, and all over. I think I found them in Istanbul, I found them in Rome, perhaps more than anywhere else. But of course, that's also because I'm an Indian and I evidently look Indian.
The problem with scams is the call center scams that are happening here from India. That's the real problem, and why foreigners might be associating India with scams. Because back in New Zealand, there'll be someone on the phone calling me trying to scam me over the phone. That's the real thing which has really hurt India's reputation. The call center scams that are happening, where they're trying to loot people's bank accounts. That's the real damage.
Yeah, I agree.
That has been caused.
And I think, like I said, the ones that are happening on the streets are $200, $300. But of course, the bigger scams and can't even defend them anyway. The only thing that we were talking about earlier is that the only good thing coming out of scams in India is that at least they're creative. And considering how our cinema and everywhere else is going, I feel that at least they're the most creative lot in India. But you're right. I think I kind of agree with you that that's sort of really, really dampening the overall image of India. And somehow I can't even defend the fact that I've taken foreigners out to Agra, to Jaipur, etc., etc. And to be honest, it's awfully annoying. Yeah. It's almost like if you're walking for about 500 meters, those 500 meters are a nuisance. You can barely see anything. You're just trying to fend off people who are touts and all of them.
I try to tell people go to Agra, go to Delhi, go to Jaipur, but then go somewhere else. Because you're only going to find these touts and scammers in the big tourist destinations. Get out of the Golden Triangle, just go anywhere else, which is just much smaller, and you won't find any scammers anywhere. You'll only find, Aditi Devo Bhava log, nice, hospitable, normal, everyday Indians.
But what has been the worst scam that you've seen or busted in India?
Oh man, this guy is still operating in Connaught Place to this day. It's called the poo on the shoe scam. And
yeah.
This guy and his buddy, who's a shoe cleaner, they go around sneaking down behind foreigners and spraying some kind of feces on the guest's shoe. And then they scoot around in front and say, "Look at your shoe, man, look at your shoe." And you look down and there's, some kind of poo on your shoe. And they're like, "Don't worry, we'll help you, we'll clean it up. I know a guy who will clean your shoe, and he's just sitting over here waiting for you to come," and they'll try and, charge you 1,500 rupees or something to clean the mess that they made on your shoe. That actually happened to me.
Did you pay up?
No, I did something. So all these scams in my videos, they've all happened to me. And usually they've happened once or twice. And so this one happened to me. The guy, I looked down, I'm like, "Oh man, what is this?" And this same guy comes up to me and they take me to the cleaner. I didn't pay him. I said, "Nah." Because I saw there was a bunch of leaves on the ground. So I just picked up some leaves and cleaned it off myself and didn't pay him. And so that's how I found out about that scam. And to capture it on video, every single time I went back to Connaught Place, I turn on my camera, every single time. And like a year later, I managed to capture it just like that. So that was a whole year of just filming just to try and capture that one guy doing that poo on the shoe scam. But he's still operating to this day. Whenever I go to Connaught Place, I still see him in the exact same spot. And he's always just lurking behind foreigners, following foreigners. It's really creepy.
Yeah, because it's strange, because like I have never seen him. And probably I would have, I mean, I can't even
He only
remember.
target foreigners, man.
So I think they're only after foreigners, and I've not even, and perhaps they're so sneaky that I've never even seen him around. I mean, of course, I've seen that video of yours, but besides, I've never seen that man around.
I can show you him, man. I can point him out to you.
Yeah.
And so you can just go there and watch him. And you'll watch him just sneaking behind foreigners.
But do you think a lot of these, like you said, that when you came to India, the first learning was that don't be naive.
Yeah.
Do you think that a lot of foreigners or others who come to India are also very culturally naive to fall? Like sometimes I feel there are a lot of content creators who come and who shoot these videos who know nothing about India, and it's sometimes even funny that they're getting surprised at shit that's happening on the streets. Do you think that there's a lot of cultural apathy towards Indians, that they don't understand India at all before they come here?
Yeah, I think a lot of people need to be a bit more balanced in how they portray India. Like my channel, I've always tried to keep it balanced, always.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I show my own life, and I show my wife's life, and I show our family life, and I show our village. Like you get to see all of India through my channel. I'm not just showing the scams, and I feel like some people just come and they'll only show the negative, and it's a bit, it's not right. That's not the full picture of India. India is very complex. It's such a big population, you know. You'll find the extremes of the extremely incredible, and then the extremely kind of bad, you know. It's not really fair just to report on the bad stuff.
Yeah, there's a beautiful duality in India.
Yeah.
Like you said, that there are people who will sort of pour their heart out for you, and there are people who sort of scam you at every possible moment that they get.
Yeah, but the people who will pour their heart out for you, that's like 99.9% of the population.
Exactly.
You
And
know
I'm
what I
glad
mean?
and I'm glad you said that, because that's how I feel sometimes, that, you know, it's just a bunch of people, and the rest of India is actually very beautiful, very hospitable.
Totally.
So, I mean, Karl, you've been traveling around India, and you've been evasive about telling me what your favorite place in India is, but I'm going to probe you more into it.
Yeah.
Where did you love traveling the most in India? And it just has to be one place. You can't tell me that the hills were nice there and the beaches were nice there.
I mean, the place which really blew my mind, probably Lakshadweep. And the place which people overlook the most, because it is difficult to get to. But there's a cruise that leaves from Kochi.
Yeah.
And oh my God, that was probably the best 25,000 rupees I ever spent on travel in India. They took us to 3 different islands in Lakshadweep. They kicked us off the boat, and they left us on 3 different islands for a day each. And everything was included. All the food, all the meals. And we just got to roam around probably the most picturesque islands in the world. The most picturesque islands I've ever seen. And I've been to Fiji, for example. So yeah, Lakshadweep, that should be on everybody's bucket list.
Just let me give a side eye to my wife. I've been telling her to go there for 2 years, and she keeps making random excuses.
But guys, do the cruise, because flying in, you can only go to like one island, and you've got to take boats everywhere, and it's annoying. But if you take the cruise, you get to experience 3 different islands and everything included.
Yeah. Have you ever seen anything or felt anything creepy or strange or mysterious in India that you're still sort of figuring out answers to?
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm not into like superstitions and all this type of stuff. I don't believe in much of this stuff. But I had quite a strange experience at Lonar Lake in Maharashtra, and it kind of makes sense because a meteorite hit it and made a massive crater in the earth in Maharashtra, and it's just an otherworldly place. I don't know if I can call it creepy, but it's otherworldly, that's for sure. There's all sorts of little strange things going down on there. So the first thing was there's some weird magnetism happening there. Our guide was holding a compass, and this was inside a temple. Inside a temple, he's holding the compass to the ground, and the compass was just spinning around. That was weird. I've never seen that before. And my GoPro, I've been using GoPro for how many years? I don't think I've ever had it corrupt before. But when I got back to while I was down in the lake, the GoPro started bugging out, and I started seeing all this weird stuff happening on the screen. And when I got back, half the files were gone. I've never had anything like that happen to me before. And it just so happened to happen down in Lona. And like the color of the water, the pH level of the water, during a certain time of the year, the lake turns pink from green. It's just like, yeah, absolutely incredible. It's probably the only kind of mysterious place that I've found. And I made a vlog on that, and I think a lot of people found it mysterious too. Yeah, so that's another place I tell people to go. Get your butts to Lona, man. It's. I think they're trying to promote it as an up-and-coming tourist destination.
Yeah, because
it definitely is.
Yeah, I think I need to visit that. I never heard of it, honestly, before. And I didn't see the video that you made.
I hadn't heard of it either, man. I just go to these places when I read them online or see them online. Most of the channel is just me going on these little weird adventures to funny places and finding incredible stuff.
So, weird experiences and funny places brings me to Pakistan. How was your experience in Pakistan? And I wanted to understand, I mean, of course, culturally, we are almost the same people. What are the key differences between Indians and Pakistanis? And what are the key things that are absolutely the same between us?
I've thought about this a lot because it's such a common question that this is the question I get on the street from just the common man in India. They'll say, how was Pakistan? Are they like us? And I get that same question in India when I meet a taxi driver and he's like, how's India? What's it like? Is it? And in Pakistan, they always say, is it like what we see in the news? And I'm always like, no, the news is not real, you know, but they know that. And similarities, I can't pick any major differences. Like the first thing I thought, okay, maybe it's an Islamic country, so maybe the religion is different. But no, we have hundreds of millions of Muslims in India as well. So is the religion different? I don't know. And I thought, is the food different? Well, it's a little bit different. Their spice mixtures are slightly different, but I'm still eating chickpeas and paratha for breakfast. So tastes a little different, but not a major difference. I just feel like the countries are two brothers, long lost brothers maybe. And even my Pakistani friends, you know, she told me we came from India. We're the same blood. And I'm like, yeah. So I feel like if Indians were allowed to go to Pakistan, they'd feel very at home there. I don't think they would see much difference. And I mean, it used to be part of India, right? So,
and I've heard a lot about Pakistani hospitality.
It's the same as Indian hospitality, exactly the same. They have Mehman Nawazi, we have Aditi Devo Bhava. It's exactly the same thing.
Whatever I've heard from people, and they've always said that, you know, we find it very difficult to pay people because they would often not take money for food and all of that. And I've seen some of that happen in your videos as well.
Yeah, it's happened to me across India and across Pakistan. India happens a little less because we get so many tourists, right?
Yeah.
You can't expect that to happen so much. But when you go to a small place in India is where I really notice it. Or just any village in India as well. Indian villages, man, they'll go out of their way. I've like broken down in a village, and firstly they'll take you to the Baitak, the resting room. They'll put you there. They'll start bringing you biscuits. They'll start bringing you tea, and then half an hour they'll be chatting to you, and then half an hour later you come out and they've fixed a puncture in your tire. It's just
I agree.
Incredible.
Talking of that one popular video that we all saw, which went viral, where you had a random altercation. I won't call it an altercation, it was just a rant on the streets. Look, I can't I'll have to admit that I found it extremely funny when I saw it.
What was the line from that, so people remember?
If I'm allowed to say it, कि तू करो ना mother chod. तुम सब गोरो लोग यहाँ करोना फैलाता है. And it was funny, honestly. Like back in the day when I saw it, I laughed my heart out.
Yeah.
And because you see it happening to a white man, you're like, you know what, fun. But the later you start sort of absorbing it, you feel like, oh, this is random, and also uncalled for, and also racist, because the entire line was, "तुम सारा गोरो लोग यहाँ कोरोना फैलाता है." But of course, I mean, then when you look at from the other side, also you feel like, okay, poor guy, he's lost his job, he's barely able to make money, he's barely able to feed his family. So he's naturally resentful towards any white man he sees, and he can't differentiate between what is what. But what was it like to be on the other side of that rant?
I was unfortunate that I had to go through that experience outside the spice market in Delhi. He got very hostile and very aggressive, and I was worried that it might get physical. And I kind of fought back a bit because he annoyed me with what he was saying. When someone's swearing at me, it kind of gets me a bit annoyed. So I gave him some back as well. Not as bad as he gave me, but at the same time, like, you got to remember, like, I don't feel any hostility towards him. Like, I'm sure he was going through a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was misunderstanding where coronavirus was coming from. He thought I was spreading it, it's not. Yeah, I just feel bad for him, actually. I feel a bit sorry for him. So
yeah.
I didn't take it personally. I didn't take it as racist either. I just took it as this guy's having a bad day, basically. And I didn't expect it to become a meme. That might be the most popular meme of mine. I didn't make the meme. Memers made the meme. And at the beginning, I'm like, oh, this is really unfortunate that this has become a meme. Like, I don't want to be known for this really negative altercation. And especially how memers sometimes put a racist spin on it as well. I'm like, oh man, did you really have to put the spin on it and all that stuff? It's a bit not my style.
Karl, there's recently been a video that's been surfacing online. I don't know if you've seen it, where this one boy in New Zealand who got a passport from New Zealand, who basically got his citizenship. And have you seen that video?
I think it's a Haryanvi guy and he's dancing.
Yeah, and I think maybe or a Malayali guy, I'm not sure. But the guy who took off his India t-shirt and a lot of people took offense to that. They said that, while you are, of course, free to get your passports, etc., you get artisan citizenship from another country, they found it disrespectful that he was so happy, giving up his official Indian identity. But on the other hand, personally, I feel that duality is there always. I mean, howsoever NRIs may say that we are proud of India, they would never want to come back and spend their lives in India. As somebody who's left your country and who's spending your life in another country, how do you see this entire celebration of taking the Indian t-shirt out and then having a Kiwi t-shirt inside? How do you see that?
Like, it's a little bit in bad taste. Like, I understand he's excited and he's happy he's becoming a New Zealand citizen. Yeah, it's a tricky one. I don't really know what to think of it. I saw it and I just scrolled past it because it's not, I'm happy he's a Kiwi, but you probably don't want to be rubbing it in the faces of other people, and you don't really want to be disrespecting India as well. But at the same time, it's just I'm pretty sure he's not serious. He's just
having fun.
He didn't know it's going to go viral, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of that on the internet.
But then I also want to understand, like, when I said that a lot of NRIs feel very proud to be Indians, but they don't want to live in India. Do you see that as some kind of a hypocritical approach? Because personally, I find it very hypocritical, personally.
Yeah, but I'm happy they're proud that they're Indian, man. And yeah, it's very hard to be different overseas, man. So it's good that they're proud that they're Indian. And people leave India for different reasons, no? Like, if I was born here, life is hard here, man.
I agree.
I probably would have left too, maybe. So I don't know. I'm not going to judge anybody, man.
And people give a lot of shit to people like, say, Virat Kohli, who's, they say that you play for India, India's given you fame and money and respect, whatever, and now you want to go settle in England.
Yeah, but it's hard being famous here.
And somebody as famous as him.
Yeah, like he wouldn't be able to walk down the street in Mumbai, for example, or Delhi.
Yeah.
Maybe anywhere in India.
Anywhere in India.
So that's probably why he's moved, just so he can try and have a normal life. So people immigrate for different reasons. Yeah, I'm just happy they're Indians and they're proud to be Indian, man. That's the most important thing.
So, Karl, on a final segment, we'll quickly play a game. It's called Red Flag and Green Flag. It's nothing to do with relationships, but a bunch of real life situations. And you have to tell me if these are red flags or green flags as per you. Ready?
Yeah.
You can't take your time and you can't be diplomatic. Okay, first, living with your parents till you're 40.
Green flag, man. Green flag. That's kind of me. I moved out very late.
Letting the parents choose your life partner because they know you better.
Far out, man. That's in the middle because I've seen arranged marriages do work. So I'm not going to say arranged marriages don't work. Sometimes people want their parents to choose for them. So it's in the middle, man. It's not red. I'd say it's green. It's green.
Okay. Using children in your content,
Oh, red flag. Yeah, just don't include children.
even if they're yours.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
Fair. Cancel culture.
Oh, that's a red flag. Cancel culture is so bad, man. We've seen so many examples of that recently. It's horrible.
Being apolitical.
I think no, that's a green flag. Does everyone really need to get into politics and like, just you're gonna annoy half your audience? I think most people should stay out of politics, me included.
Getting medicines without a prescription.
Oh, red flag. Red flag's dangerous.
But that's how we work in India.
I know. It's slowly changing though. They're trying to bring in the rules to make people get a prescription.
Okay. Traveling without a fixed plan.
Oh, that's total green flag. But I would have said a red flag if I was younger because, us foreigners travel to a bloody rigid regime. Well, I used to.
Bribes.
Oh, red flag, man. Any kind of corruption and
But
bribes.
they get
red
shit
flag.
done, no?
Red flag. I mean, I'm lucky enough that I'm outside of that whole system. I don't have to do that in India. But yeah, red flag, man.
Cool. Karl, I think this was it. Any last parting words that you want to say to people?
Come to India. That's it, man. Like, whatever you see online, just come and see India for yourself. And like my parents, they were skeptical about coming to India, but when they came within 24 hours, they were saying to me, Karl, we were wrong. Now we're seeing the real India. So yeah, I just say come to India and Jai Hind.
And also for people who live in India but don't explore India. Like, I know people in my family who've never, say, gone to the Northeast. I haven't been to the Northeast, and I'm not very proud of it. That's the only region I've never been to in India. But people never go and experience, say, down south. They don't go to Kerala. They don't go to Andaman, Lakshadweep, and all of that. What do you say to them, people who think that this golden triangle is all that there is to India?
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to go overseas. There's so much to do in India, man. Honestly, I'm still exploring India. I've neglected the South as well. I've been everywhere, but I haven't spent enough time and made enough videos there. So I'm trying to catch up on that at the moment.
Thank you so much, Karl, for taking out time and sharing your experiences with us. Like I said in the beginning, that despite us being Indians, I think you've experienced and absorbed India more than a lot of us have. Thank you for that. Thank you for showcasing us, our culture, to the world. And thank you for setting a precedent for all the other content creators to follow. Because I've seen a lot of content creators who've sort of figured this out as a quick hack to come to India, make content about India, and then quickly get those views and go viral.
It doesn't work.
Yeah. And I'm glad you didn't take the easy way out that way, where you just shown India from a white man's lens and let that happen. But if you were to say something to those content creators who come from all over the world without knowing anything about India and then just make these random videos and get viral quickly.
Yeah, maybe just talk to a local. A local person will be able to, like Zain would be able to explain what's going on, why it's going on, and show you an alternative side to what you're seeing. There's always two sides.
Cool. I think with that, we'll come to the end of the episode. And thank you again. Like I said, Karl, I can't thank you enough. Thank you once more. And with this, there are a lot more episodes coming your way. अलग-अलग लोगों से हम बात करेंगे, उनकी कहानियाँ समझेंगे, उनकी कहानियाँ उनके मुंह से सुनना चाहेंगे. So if you like this video, then leave a comment for Karl and for me. Go watch Karl's channel. You'll see a lot of videos over there. And yes, subscribe to both of us.
Thank you, Zain. Namaste.